Hi folks, this is a photograph I took a couple of weeks ago on our bike ride, a Tuesday bike rides, only two of us today. It was quite wet and muddy when we started, but we still did it. This is from a little bridge over the River Wandle in Poulter's Park. It's not too far from me, and we ride gently through a lot of this along this little river. Our first sight, this looks a very complicated scene with all these different planes, different foliage, background. Well, we've got to stretch that out. We've got to change the colour of that quite considerably. It's a winter scene, of course, and we've got these trees here. Well, I make no attempt at trying to paint these as they are. I just paint a version or an impression of it. Now today it was very cloudy to start with. You could hardly see any light in the clouds, but as the day progressed, some light did arrive, and I'm going to put it in the middle and just put the cloud either side. I don't really want a blue sky, although there's quite a bit of blue in the sky now. So we'll see how we go down. I'll just zoom out of that a little bit. There we go. And I'll put that to one side as my aid memoir. And somebody on YouTube yesterday left a comment, a bit daft really, imploring me to stop imitating stop imitating Cronin. Well, I don't, of course. We're both, we like similar things, and I've been doing this a lot longer, and I was a bit peeved about it. Actually, only one in 5 years. Stephen and I, we're colleagues, and we have totally different styles, so I took that as fun. But I left the comment on. I could stop him from making comments, but didn't see the point of that. Quite ridiculous, really. This is the method I use, as say as Stephen, is the Ron Ransom method. I've been using it for 30 years, although I did have 15 years off painting in oils, but they don't really agree with me with the solvents. So the original, I think Ron used lemon yellow, but I've got cadmium yellow here, and when that goes, it'll be cadmium yellow light, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna, which is my extra colour. I do like burnt sienna. It's a great mixer with the grey, Payne's grey or black, and with the blue. It's really a sort of a deep red, very deep red, deeper than the light red. Although you can make it to a certain extent by using burnt umber and light red, but it's not exact. And the Winsor and Newton Cotman burnt sienna is much darker than the Dana Rowney that is the alternative, or one of the alternatives. The board is about 35 degrees. Okay, so I'll start by putting a bit of a wet. The Environment Agency guys were working in the Wandle earlier. They keep it quite as clean as possible, but being a suburban river, it does get a lot of rubbish thrown in it. Such are the hooligans that we have to cope with these days. Right, okay. So I'll give it a bit of a raw sienna. The raw sienna treatment, just want some in the foreground as well. This will give the light in the sky, and put a bit of cloud in the top and reflect it in the water. So no blue. So I'll use a bit of Payne's grey, a bit of alizarin. That will do. Keep it on the warm side. You can call this warm. Okay. Keep the light in the middle, it just breaking through the clouds. want to take out some of that there, so that light comes through. Just a little bit darker here and there. But that's the thing with the internet, isn't it? Anybody can say anything. Okay. We can let that dry a little bit. So it's a totally different sky. I'm going to dry it off. So headphones off. So we've got quite a high horizon, so we'll put in some blue with that, with the trees in the background, Payne's grey, bit of blue, and I won't have it quite as high as it is in the photograph that I took. Right, okay, so we'll. So remember, it's a winter's day, plenty of cloud in the sky, and we've got a tree sticking up here, which is more in the foreground. So we'll just add a bit of yellow to that, I think, in the bank. A sort of small poplar. Right, and let's get some lights in there now. Plenty. You have to look for the colour in winter scenes. They're not always obvious. But as artists, we see that. We look for what other people missed, basically. Right, now let's put in some banking, bit of a shadow under this one. Got to leave some nice light on there. This hake is wearing out quite fast now. This is just a bit of burnt umber and ultramarine losing its hairs. Okay. Let's put the darks in where I can see them. I'll just re-clip. You can't do a lot of work overworking with the Fabriano. So let's get a bit of blue in there, a bit of red, and a bit of shadow from wherever, from the tree opposite here, I think. A bit of deep shadow in there. This all dries lighter than when you put it on. Right, let's get some green in there now. Bit of yellow, raw sienna. Bit of blue. Okay, let's get a nice colour in there. And we'll have a bit of burnt sienna, just to warm warm some of this up. And while that's wet, we can if you can't, if you haven't got your fingernails, you bite your nails, you can't do this. Okay, let's go to the other side and do a bit of that. And that's quite a heavy shadow over here. So let's just a few lights in there. Should maybe paint the lights first. A more sort of straw colour, but burnt umber with the raw sienna. Just poking through up here. Now this is just a tumble of bank and reeds and all sorts of stuff here. I'll put a bit of reflection in there. Just lift out some bits of colour, and we'll put a bit of colour in the back as well, I think, catching the light, a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of the cad yellow. You have to look out for these warms. Light greeny colour. Right, let's get some dark in that tree in the distance. A bit of shadow on. The darks in there. The river goes up there. Through there. With the hake, you've got to really control the amount of water in it, otherwise it'll trap you when you're not looking. Okay, that'll do. Go back with some of these. Right, now I'm going to put in some of the, I'll go to the side and put in some of that. I'll give it a dry, but I want to put in some branches. Now we can start to put a bit of detail in the back. The idea of all this is to create an impression rather than a likeness. If it isn't there, put it in. Doesn't matter. We're trying to create a painting or an impression of a scene, but trying to put something of ourselves in. And I can put a bit of stipple in some of this. Let that dry. Right, now burnt umber and a bit of ultramarine. Some of these coming across here. The Hake is a wonderful brush for doing this sort of impressionist hit and miss. I remember the trees get thicker as they come down to the bottom. Right, let's get one coming across here. You can't put them all in, just put some in. We've all got lots of branches in the end, but I will invent some stipple. And we'll have a bit of a tree coming up here. I remember all those years ago when I first got onto Ron Ranson, I was a member of Carshawton and Warrington Art Group. Back then, a big art group. And anything new coming out, and in particular there was a videotape of Ron Ranson, and I borrowed it, got the Hake, changed my painting life, I must say. I need to put some heavier stuff in here. It's still a bit wet there. So is my tea, which I've nearly drunk. I've got to do some reflections there. I'll leave that alone for a minute. I'll just carry on working here, and I think that is sort of reflected in here, just guessing this. Put some ripples. This is quite a fast flowing little river. It's for those who like a bit of detail, it drops about 126 feet over its 16-mile meandering into the Thames. Okay, it's a bit more dark. In here. Now I've taken a bit of dry brush now. So now we can come in a bit of dark green. That's bank around here. more texture. Alright, that's a bit grey. Some reflections going in here. What's above, put below. I've put a few little ripples in there. Right. Want a bit of sienna and a bit of burnt umber, I think, a bit of blue. The tangle stuff here. There's a bit of controversy over a housing development on the river where the house builders have transgressed, they've destroyed a lot of banking, which affects a lot of wildlife like kingfishers and so on. I took some photographs of it, which I should put on Facebook. Okay. Trying to show the detail there. Right, so a little bit of this this reflection across here. I don't think we're putting any detail in it. Maybe a bit, but. Just a palette grey. Yeah, it won't really show there, but maybe that one there. A few others. Shadow there. Okay. I'm not going to do any stippling, I'm going to just drag a little bit of warm twiggy stuff. We used to be able to ride our bikes along a path here, but it's all sort of overgrown now. Right, okay, well I think that's about it. I can't do much more than that, I think. Put some, I will just do some stipple. I'll want some in this tree here. Now I'm going to use this inch flat. It's an old oil brush that's it's not worn out, but if you're an oil painter and you clean your brushes with turpentine substitute, white spirit, or white spirit, eventually it makes the bristles go very, very brittle. So kerosene, paraffin is a thing to leave your brushes in, but it doesn't agree with my chest anymore. So I tried last week to do some oil painting with a brush. I enjoyed it, very much. I did, but I'm still coughing from it. So we'll just put in a few warm bits. Bit of green in here. It won't show probably against the dark background, but it doesn't matter. Let's just go a little bit over there. But I noticed this morning, looking across the wetlands in Malden Hall Park, a tinge of green, which was rather lovely. Hints of spring. Okay. Right, I'm going to dry that off and I'm going to do a little bit of dry brush. With the hake, I'm going to use the inch hake. Oops, moving the camera. Oh, haven't I? Just lower that a little bit. Okay. Right, inch hake. Well, I've got this inch brush that I use mostly for acrylic. So I'll use that and I'll just put in a bit of that background colour, a bit of sky colour. Well, no, we'll have some light on there. Let's have a bit of sienna. I wonder if that'll work. I'll have a bit of that cloud colour. Okay, that'll do. Can't do any more than that. I'll put a bird in there. No human beings in there. It's just a wilderness of blackberry, nettles, all sorts of wild stuff. Right. I'll put it in a mount and we'll have a look, see what it's like. I do like the light one. And there's lots of dark colours, contrast. I like the light mount on that. Bit light mount. It's seen better days, isn't there? Especially that chunk of red acrylic on it. Let's get that on here. Now, is there any more I could put? Thousands more twigs on these, but it won't add to anything. Maybe a bit of a heavier trunk or something in here. Just to add a little bit of interest. Stunted growth. That'll do. Oops. Alright, let's zoom out. Oh, there we are. So that's the Wandle from a photograph taken a couple of weeks ago. But we were there this morning looking over the bridge, my friend and I. Two cried off because it was too wet. So there we are, River Wandle impression. Thanks for watching, folks. See you soon. Bye bye.